Hello, good evening. It's Friday and it's just, well, it's 1 minute after 8:30. So, you know, I think we've done pretty well there.
Yeah.
Welcome to ExtraTyne. And as you can see, Laura and I this evening are in the studio.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know that everything ran completely smoothly. Thank you very much to Chris for helping us out. It didn't help that about 2 seconds before we went online, I managed to spill me beer. So on my cider. So all over Laura's notes. So, you know, what can we say? Nothing's ever perfect. What can we do? So, so welcome to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel for another episode of ExtraTyne. The first time we've both been in the studio together. This is your first time, isn't it? So really exciting. We've managed to get through some technical challenges and now we're here. So great. So, Laura, how's your week been so far?
Good. There's been no football to spoil it yet. So
Not yet.
We had a weekend off. So quite enjoyable.
Yeah? Nice one. And what about the match on Friday? Where did you watch that?
At the game. I went to the game. Was very nervous beforehand, mainly about the atmosphere, not so much the result. I was nervous about how toxic it was going to be, all the talk of the protests and things, but I quite enjoyed it. I felt, when I was there, I did feel like it was quite nervy. I felt like they were going to go and get the winner. But when I watched it back, the highlights, I think we had the better chances, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I think
we did have some good chances.
I think if Wilson had been playing, would have won.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I'm not sure how many times we're going to get Wilson playing this season, but we'll see.
No.
We'll see. So, well, it's been another brilliant week in the world of NUFC, as we've kind of alluded to there, both on and off the pitch. So this morning, our fearless leader, Steve Bruce, gave us some great news in his press conference. I didn't notice as much eye rolling as there usually is, although most of the fans are probably rolling their eyes because of the news that Jamal Lascelles, and more probably importantly, although he hasn't started the season like he ended the last, Joe Willock's out with a stub toe, which is probably the only...
I know, I just read about that literally just before I came out, that's why it happened. Kick the ground.
Yeah.
I think it was deliberate, in anger.
Yeah, maybe his eye.
During a fight with Graham Jones.
Did you see the picture? Was that a Kingston Park Tesco?
I don't know where it was, but I reckon
it might be in the Kingston Park.
Nobody knew until then, though, and then that kid, unbeknownst to him, revealed that Willock was most definitely out.
I wonder who'll be the first podcast to get that kid on.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? That could be something. So, Chris, if you can work on that for us, that would be really, really helpful. Obviously, going into the weekend, we've got loads of stuff to cover. Really, there's been quite some interesting stuff going on. Obviously, we've got the Watford game, formerly the Daryl Janmat Classico, and now it'll be the Musa Sissoko derby. But who are the other 3 players, former Newcastle players, that are currently playing for Watford?
Funnily enough, I actually knew this. Danny Rose.
Yep.
Rob Elliott.
Right.
And I got this, didn't I? And earlier, Gosling.
Dan Gosling. Great Dan Gosling. How many games did Dan Gosling actually start for Newcastle?
Do you know the answer?
I Wikipedia'd it today. That's how sad I am. In between washing the car.
Is it lower than I would think or higher?
I think lower than what you would think.
20.
Ooh, 24.
Ooh.
According to, well, that was, I believe that starts. He probably made a few more sub appearances. I'm sure Daryl or somebody else will be able to kind of tell us how many minutes he played. I think he got 1 goal in his time with us, but seems to be doing pretty well since he left Newcastle, which often happens with a lot of these players. So, so those players, I'm not sure who's going to be in the squad, though. I think probably Sissoko, possibly Dan Gosling. I don't know about
Rose. He played
Danny
last
Rose.
week.
Did he play? Has he been playing?
He played. I checked. I'm sure he played last week. I know the cup game didn't count because they played. Elliott's not going to play, obviously, but no, I'm sure Rose is getting a game.
Do you think there's a more miserable footballer than Danny Rose?
Bound to be.
It's got to be.
Not off the top of my head.
No. In the comments, if you want, who's going to be who's the most miserable footballer that we know?
I say I'm not going to listen to you now.
He comes across as incredibly miserable. So so we've got this weekend. We've got a full allocation. 3,000 fans are going down to Watford for an old-fashioned 3 o'clock kickoff. And interestingly, for the game, we've got an Australian referee. Mr. Gillette, Jared Gillette. Have you seen that? Have you seen the YouTube video of him?
No.
He's got a YouTube video where they mic'd him up for a game.
All right,
And he
yeah,
was
they do that over there.
Yeah,
don't
and he was
they?
explaining his decisions, which is quite helpful. I think we could probably do with that in the Premier League, I would say.
I wonder if he still does that. Obviously, he won't be mic'd up, but I wonder if he still does that on Saturday, like explaining every decision to each player.
I'm not sure. If he spends any time with Mike Dean, probably not.
How to get in someone's way and stuff.
Yeah, what an absolute dickhead. So we've got a new referee coming into the league. He's worked in the Championship last season, but obviously he's coming to the Premier League, so this will be his first Premier League game. I think he was actually the video ref for the Villa game and possibly the Leeds game. I think he was. So maybe he might give Steve Bruce something else to moan about.
Well,
there was a couple.
Was it the Leeds game where they should have had a pen? Though?
Yeah, yes,
I like him.
Well, the thing is, this is when the arguments or the complaints about VAR just go out the window because he's like hung his hat on not getting results because of VAR, and then but there's no mention of like the Leeds game. It's just absolutely bothers my piss. Anyway, so I suppose Laura might as well just get straight into it. For the Watford game, how we're looking team wise, who's in, who's out for Newcastle, and obviously for Watford as well. What can we expect to see? Do you think?
Obviously you've touched on Lascelles being out. To me, I'm not that arsed. I can have him, leave him or take him. Is that the saying? Leave him or take him?
Take him or leave him.
Take him.
Leave him or take?
Take him.
Maybe he's even inadvertently created a new phrase.
Leave him or take him.
Leave him or take him.
It
works as a.
I won't welcome him with open hands.
You won't welcome him with open hands?
No, I'm not that bothered. I don't think he's the leader, and we need a leader at the minute, so I'm not that bothered about him. Obviously, Willock is a big blow.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, he's not like he was last season, but he brings more to the team than Lascelles does, in my opinion. But I would say bring Fernandez in instead and Longstaff Hayden in the middle.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to go 5 or do you think he's going to 4-2-3-1? I think I would prefer 4-2-3-1.
I would prefer 4. I would just a little bit more intent, a little bit more attacking rather than just setting up.
And then the big question is, would you play an actual left back at left back, or would you play Matt Ritchie there?
I would play Matt Ritchie there. No,
would you?
No, I'm joking. No, of course.
It's not the time to be joking about these formations.
Well, I thought it would be easier in person that you would get the sarcasm there, but maybe not. But no, apparently, they won 3-1 last week, so they're coming in on good form. Got beat though off Stoke, but that doesn't count because it was a different team, completely. Yeah. But then, like we've touched on, you've got Sissoko, Rose, who they both know that we're not their biggest fans, so they'll have a point to prove, be more determined. And is it Saw? How do you say it? Saw, he's had a couple of goals, so he's someone to watch. But going into it, it's not ideal when you look at the stats. I was having a look earlier. We haven't won at Watford since 2010 in the Championship.
Oh, that is upsetting.
Awful, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like we don't have a great. I remember being there when Dyer was playing and the Gucci Onyewu, or what his name was, the American, big. He was an absolute specimen, and you think he would be really difficult to play with or play against. It turns out, play with. That's late night extra time for you later, ladies and gentlemen. But you think he would be like quite hard to play against, but he was actually really easy to play against. Like he was very soft in the tackle. He wasn't very dominant in the air, despite being about 6'3".
I can't remember him at all.
Aye, Gucci Onyewu, I'm sure.
What
can I say?
We've only won in 2018, and that was at home. So it's either been a draw or we've lost. So it's not ideal going into it. And when I was looking at like Bet365 and the pundits actually on Super 6 have got either a draw or us to win. Yeah. But I really feel like they're just like Bruce fans, like, or they're doing what I did with, say, but the opposite with, like, you know, when Leicester won the league or when Sunderland were losing all the time. Yeah. I was like, oh, putting them on me bet. Oh, they've got to win
Yeah.
sometime. Oh, they've got to lose
I've
sometime.
heard that
and
a few
feel-
times. I think I was listening to was this might be one of the Chronicle ones or one of the True Faith ones, lads, and they were saying like somebody was saying like we've got to win eventually.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah.
I wouldn't say that about us though, because with Bruce and the way it's going at the minute, I really don't. We could do was it Derby that got the lowest points?
Yeah.
I would not
And
shock
who were
me
the only
in
games at the one game? Who were the only team that won games against?
Was it us?
It was Newcastle.
No. Why are we always that team?
Yeah, I think that might have been under Allardyce, possibly. But yeah, I remember we got beat against them away. I think what was his name? Scottish bloke, played for Rangers and Celtic. Scored an absolute worldie when we played them at Pride Park. And then I think he might have scored a game when we played them at home. It was like, and those were the only sort of teams that they beat properly. And it was good old Newcastle. And it stays with the theme through eternity of like, you know, Watford on a bit of a bad run, like on not a great run. Who do you want to be playing next?
Oh, us every time.
And then Wolves have had a little bit of a sticky patch. Who do you want to play next?
Last season, was it Sheffield United or something? And
yeah,
right, who do you want?
Aye. So hopefully, Brucey's boys will get down there with their swashbuckling style and hopefully we'll get some sort of result. What do you think in terms of result then, Laura? What do you reckon?
Either. I don't think we'll win. Either a draw or get beat.
Yeah.
I can't say us winning. Actually, either a 0-0 because I can't say us scoring either.
With those forward players, so say if we went 4-2, 3-1, I know we know what Bruce is going to do. So let's just believe. Let's just have a sort of a fantasy conversation
like,
here.
I'm the manager.
You're the manager, right?
Okay.
Are you a tracksuit? Are you a suit manager?
What do you think? I've come here tonight
for
my
tracksuit.
First studio debut and I've wore a tracksuit. So.
Would you tracksuit or suit first half and change it half time? Or
I couldn't be asked for change.
No.
Once I'm ready, I'm ready.
Yeah,
probably
I suppose so.
Yeah. Are you a tracksuit or a suit man?
Depends on the occasion.
Watford away.
Tracksuit.
Really?
Yeah.
London after? Go straight out?
That's the end of the Metropolitan line. It's not really for me. Like,
I'm not greatly. I'm not geography. Sorry.
So, what games would you wear a suit for, though?
Champions League final.
Champions League final. Would that be it?
Yeah. No, any sort of final. No, I don't know. No, I don't think I'd ever wear a suit.
No,
nah.
Not even like Real Madrid away. Would you still be there in your Nike gear?
No, it'd be too hot.
Or Castori. Is it Castori or Castora?
Castor.
So I'll be suiting that situation. Definitely.
I just like to be comfy. I'd definitely go tracksuit every time. We've gone off on a tangent again.
Yeah. Anyway, right. So I think.
Yeah, I bet you were going to ask us about Gail though, weren't you?
I was going to ask you about Gail. That was where I was heading.
No, I would play Gail. I would always play Gail. I think I said this last week actually before he played Joe Linton. I would always play Gail. I think if there was a chance, I'd rather it was Gail. And
then so you would sacrifice, metaphorically speaking, Joe Linton, who would be now obviously Willock's not available. Who would be your three? Obviously Alan, and then who was you, Miggy, or who would you go with as your other two?
Well, Miggy's not doing great at the minute, is he? So, but I still like him. So, Longstaff, I'd like in. Would you have Longstaff and Hayden as the two, and then your three? So you'd have St. Maximum.
Almiron.
Yeah, Miggy.
And then who would be? Would you play Joe Linton and then behind Gail? Yeah. Who would you play as your three? Then who would be your third forward player?
Joe Linton.
After all that?
After all that, yeah.
So then who's... I suppose if Willock's dropped out. Although Joe Linton did have like...
I asked my dad earlier and my dad said Fraser.
Yeah. I do think Fraser needs a bit of game time, but
wasn't he wearing a boot the last time we seen him? Is he all right now?
No, I think he's all right. He didn't stub his toe. I think it was a Scottish thing.
Yeah, he said Fraser.
I think I would... But with Fraser, you've got to give him a run in the side. Same with Gail. So now that, if Willock's going to be injured, say, for the next two games, what I don't really see the harm in saying we've got Watford and Wolves, although Wolves had a decent season last season. Sorry, a couple of seasons ago. Like, they're still not that far off being championship clubs. And Dwight Gale has got a good, you know, he knows his way around a championship team.
Yeah.
So I just can't see the reason why you wouldn't now that Willock, you've been forced to change something because of Willock. You can still play Joe Linton, still play Almiron, still play Allen, and then you've got Dwight Gale up front. Like, for me, it makes perfect sense.
Which is why Bruce won't do that.
Maybe we don't live in a world of perfect sense. Who knows? What would anybody else do? We've got a few comments there. We've got Rich watching. And you think playing your only recognised centre forward would be a given, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would think. But we do live in very, very strange times, Rich. Strange times. But yeah, I think I would go with that one. I think I would definitely go with Gale against these two teams.
But are things all right with Gale now? Last time we heard there was ructions.
Well, him and Graham Jones are
when you said like fight, there's no way I would have thought it was Jones and Gale. And Bruce, but
yeah, but maybe you saw the way that Graham Jones like palmed off Steve Bruce
with Richie
in front of Matt Ritchie. When like it's like when your two parents are telling you off and you have one dominant parent and the other one's like trying to chip in. Yeah, because I said, and you're like, shut up. I'm doing the discipline here. Right? Like that is what it was like. It was
you're not getting any sweets. She said you're not getting any sweets.
Yeah, you're not getting any sweets. And then obviously all the memes and then all the videos of the two Scottish guys.
Yeah, I don't know who they were, but I've seen them.
Oh, they do is it not going out? Or they do it.
Oh, is it that Still Game?
Still Game, that's it. Still Game. That was absolute genius. Yeah, I got sent that a few times. I'm sure a few people have seen that since Bruce and Graham Jones had that little I wouldn't say altercation, it wasn't quite an altercation. So we've had some really good responses today on Twitter. Some nice traffic on Twitter for a change, which is always good to see. So as ever, we want you to get involved. And in the last week or so, we've had a story from Craig Hope from the Daily Mail, who's obviously spent his time when he's not been able to go into the press conferences. He's been doing a little bit of digging. And we have a bit of a situation at the under-23s. We had a coach at the start of the season whose name completely escapes me now. And then we had Gary Caldwell's. It was one of the Caldwells. I think it was Gary Caldwell. He was the coach for a couple of games. And now the situation is vacant. Are they going to get a supply in possibly? Is there going to be like a supply coach in? But the big news, the massive news, making a triumphant return to Newcastle apparently as one of the people who was possibly on trial was Shefty Kuchi.
I was hoping you were going to say his name first because I've got no idea.
So Kuchi, the Finnish fantastic footballer who made an absolute huge impact after Newcastle sold Andy Carroll to Liverpool back in, oh God, I'm not even going to hazard a guess, 2011,
because he's actually, it must be in 11 because he scored when we last beat Watford.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so it must have been that January.
Yes. Good knowledge. So we thought we'd have a little bit of fun with it because it's Friday night and it's extra time and we've got nothing else better to do at the minute. So we were taking suggestions on players who you would like to see come back to Newcastle in a non-playing capacity and what role could they fulfill. So we had some really good ones. I had some off the top of my head about Leon Best being a kit man, Ben Taleb.
Why?
You see now, I just started randomly going through them, and then I started thinking, well, Kieran Dye could be the driving instructor. So they started off as just well, he used to crash his car a lot.
Oh, did he? All right.
Yeah, he used to crash his car a lot. I had Ben Taleb putting hot dogs on cocktail sticks in the Platinum Club because they're obviously cutting every single corner possible up there at the minute. Like I would say stock in the fridge with alcohol, but that's not really possible in a mate, Ashley. Maybe Sim de Jong doing stadium tours and doing like, and this is the treatment room. And then like when he goes in, like, hey, Sim,
you're back again.
How is son? You know, maybe he's got a blue plaque in there for him, you know, because he spent that much time in there. So the best comments will get an all-inclusive cruise on Saltwell Park Lake. alongside the lovely Laura. She'll spend that time with you on that lovely cruise. And you can either have your choice of a screwball or you can have a 99 flake with monkey's blood on it and all that. So the best comments are possible. So we've got a few off Twitter, Laura. Can you get to those now?
We had Ian, who sits next to me at the match, say Tino Espria, life coach. He can mentor the youth. I think, yes,
I think it would be a very positive guide in life. Yeah.
So our very own Shade, SoCal Geordie. Watch his podcast, by the way, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Shade United. He'd have Sissoko back as public relations PR director to coach old cabbage head on how to act in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Now that made me think, I don't know, is Sissoko really good in front of a camera?
Oh, it's because he was miserable. You not remember the squad photos?
Oh, well, Sissoko is the most. Oh, no, yeah. It's just that man.
Oh,
no, Danny Rose.
Yeah, Danny Rose.
Sissoko,
So
I'm going back.
They're in the same. They're going to be like a Sulk United team.
But there's better people that could speak in front of a camera. Neil Warnock. I like him in front of a camera.
Oh, he's not bad. He's not bad.
Yeah, we had loads of our very own Kit Spire in the background for anger management.
Yeah.
That was from Graham Bell, friend of the podcast as well. We had John Bailey, and there's a picture from Little Matchstick Owen. Never heard of him. Social committee and organising nights out.
Yes.
I'm assuming he's big on the old.
Who is it? Let's have a look.
John Bailey, massive head of curly hair.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
No idea who that is, unfortunately.
This was one of mine as well. What I wrote was Diane Boyer to look after player welfare.
Yeah.
Or like anger management or something like that.
Well, thingy, what's his name? He's big into carp fishing. Lee Boyer.
Is he?
Into his fit. Oh, he's a big.
That's a very calm sport for him.
Yeah. No, but I think outside of a football pitch, and maybe was it a Burger King he assaulted people in? I don't even think that's allegedly, but I'll say allegedly anyway. Was it? He allegedly attacked some staff years ago when he was a youth player. Yeah, and I think that's when he got kicked. Or
run out of chicken royales or something.
Maybe he's run out of chicken royales.
That's the only thing I know on the cell. Sam Allardyce in charge of catering.
Obviously,
we could just move Steve Bruce in charge of catering, and whoever's in charge of catering now would be doing a better job.
Well, he would be like the bacon. The selection of bacon would be absolutely outstanding. Everything else would be a bit of a shambles.
Yeah. We had Martin Campbell. So the Sam Allardyce was Ryan Reid, thanks. And Martin Campbell, Keith Gillespie, obviously in charge of the betting side of things. Duncan Ferguson, we had quite a few of this from Maximo Biabelli. I'm assuming that's not his real name. Head of security.
Yeah.
Then Bobby's trumpet said, and I've asked Roger this, about Wes Saunders as the player's personal shopper, in brackets, ask your dad. Didn't have time to ask me dad, so if anyone in the comments could help us out with Wes Saunders.
I do feel like there's a story. Yeah, there's definitely a story there.
There must be, because then there's also a comment saying, from David Taylor saying, I'd have him as the speed coach. Nobody could lay a glove on him. Sorry. So there's definitely a story.
Oh, man.
Find it out while I go through the replies. I had, obviously, in the example of John Carver, could be best coach in the league, obviously. Could be like motivational speaker. Get them up for it. Better leader than the skills, I imagine. And then there's loads, isn't there? Like who could be? Then I kept thinking of like what us podcast lot could be. What roles we could be in the club.
Jesus.
And
I think Bestie would be, I think he would be like the club archive.
Yes, with all the knowledge.
Just his knowledge, sheer knowledge.
Yeah.
And then like he'd like the strips archive as well. Because he's got like every shirt from.
You'd have Daryl would obviously be in charge of transport.
Yeah, Daryl would be on transport.
Yeah.
Any legal matters will be sorted out by Shell. She would handle our legal problems.
Push them right.
Which there would be probably many. You could take training.
Could I?
We have speed flex and all that. I don't know. What was it you do?
Hit classes.
Hit classes,
yeah. I'd be good at that.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd be like, right, boys, shirts off. What? Shirts off?
No, not you, Bruce. But it was backhand.
I'd be straight in there, Agnew and that. Oh, man. Oh, I don't think a lot gets made of. Agnew used to be, he was like a massive cult hero at Sunderland. And now he's our first team coach. Aye. Like, what is going on? Got an ex-Sunderland manager.
Yeah,
and
excellent.
an ex-Sunderland
player.
No, I wouldn't say icon, but definitely, I'm sure he's a cult hero. Like, aye. And he's always been bald as a coot for
forever
since he was born, I think. I just think he never had any hair. Answers on a postcard, please, for that one. So, here we go. Marty's helped us out with Saunders. He got done for shoplifting a pair of gloves, allegedly. So there you go.
What
so
was he?
So
he was going to be in charge of fashion, personal shopping.
Yes.
There
you go.
Cool. Like it.
Did you have Nobby down as he was musical?
Yes.
Like musical director.
Musical director. We had loads. Jess. Hi, Jess. Andy Carroll, official team hairstylist. Not for his long hair now, but for the cornrows.
Yes.
She attached a picture. Loved the cornrows.
Yeah.
Sam Mumba put Kitspire anger management.
Yeah.
Steve Matty, one of our Gallowgateshots as well, put Steve Watson throwing coach, and then added
the YouTube video.
YouTube video.
I was trying to think. The first player that came to mind for some random reason was Niall Ranger. Like, what job could he come back and do?
Nights out.
Like, like social.
Nights out, social. Well-being, because not well-being.
Not well-being.
No, but for me, well-being's like nights out. But yeah. So like social side of it.
Yeah, he would be really good.
He would be good. Also, like
tattoos and stuff.
Yes,
like
tattoos.
Like
he's got a tattoo
director.
of a smiley face on his gum, like lip. Tom Walkley put Andy Griffin bench warmer.
I think you've got to think of Andy Griffin could have a really good role. I think, like, it'd definitely be like tackling, marking, assaulting people, like being able to get away with terrible tackles. I think, I think Andy Griffin would be up there for me. Like, and then like, say someone like Mike Hooper, he could come back. He could be like club bouncer because he was a bouncer for a bit.
All right.
He was a unit, like.
Was he?
Oh, he was a
more
unit,
than
like.
Ferguson.
Aye, but in a less threatening way. But he was a size.
Right, it was.
And he's short. It was like the old Asics shorts.
Oh, right.
And they were like
really short,
really rather tight. Aye, really rather tight. He had absolute thunder thighs, real thunder thighs. If there's any others in the comments, just please add them in, and we'll get those read out for you. So we've covered kind of the Watford game. There's been other stuff going on, obviously with Newcastle, but outside of that, there's been the news that the safe standing, the FA or Premier League or the government are going to look at it. Obviously, Newcastle were the first club to say, nah, we're not interested in that. What's your kind of? I've definitely got a feeling on safe standing.
I've also got a feeling, and I think people aren't gonna like it because obviously I'm like 4 for 11.5. Not a fan. Don't like it. Wouldn't entertain it. I would have been gutted. Purely because.
What if you were issued with the season ticket, like a step?
What, like Chris has kept telling us that the cushions over there for a booster? Yeah. No. I'm a pain in the arse at the match, and the guy sitting next to us will probably vouch for that because it's Friday night got a bit heated because I don't like standing. I just like sitting down, and everyone around us. Well, you sat next to us. We all sit down, and that we're like 2 seats away from the singing corner, and they all stand up, and that's absolutely fine because they all stand up, and it's fine if they all want to stand up, crack on. But this guy, he kept standing up next to us and like blocking everyone's view, and nah, not for me. So and I know people are gonna shout at us and say,
I don't know. Like I think there's a generation of football fans now who've never had that experience of standing outside of when you just stand at the match, like when you go away usually.
Yeah, well, I've never been to an away game, and I know everyone stands there. So if I did go there. If I did, obviously I would stand and that'd be the end of it. But I would sense the area, and if no
Yeah.
one was standing, I wouldn't stand.
Yeah. So I think like my first game was in the Leaders End against like Bristol City years ago, and that was in the terraces standing, and that was kind of all.
And is it
all
on
people
like,
knew for.
this is gonna sound stupid, but is it like on a slant so that can everyone see?
Yeah,
Kids
well,
in
I think so. So
what if you
basically,
took your kid?
what you would have is, as it is now, and they just put a rail in front. But I think because obviously a lot of these stadiums would be built without safe standing in mind, there would have to be, or there may have to be adjustments made to the ground, to the stadium.
It's very narrow.
Yeah, aye. But obviously, that's with the seat permanently there. They'd have to change the seat so they flip up. So you would have a little, if you think about the size of your seat, and then there's probably space for your legs in front.
Right.
Can't believe we're going into leg space now.
I know.
But yeah, so there probably is space for you. But like for me, I wouldn't be a fan of it. Not on a height issue, right? But you know, like that is a valid reason.
Yeah, that's my reason, and I'm standing by it. I am.
But I would leave or take it. No, I wouldn't. My issue would be if you watch the Euros and you go to these fan parks, everybody's hiring beer everywhere. Everybody's like, you know, and it's just, I just don't think it would. I just think it would just cause
more bother.
Aye.
Oh, we're dead all, don't we?
Aye, yeah. Also, as well, there's news. I think it was that they might be bringing alcohol into the mix as well.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that on. I think it was on LBC or someone this morning. Kate Hui, they're going to look again at whether you can drink alcohol in view of the pitch. And I think that's another thing, like, you know, would fans be in favour of that? I think probably yes.
Yeah, most.
Would it be a good thing?
No.
Why not? What do you think?
Well, I'm purely just thinking of Newcastle, and I think it's people drink a lot, and I'm not a proper prude. I drink. It's not that. It's just people are very opinionated. Like I always think, like my first thought was Leeds 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Oh, everyone's gonna be mortal being dicks, and that because they are. Because then you get the same guys in the strawberry corner, like, who are absolute like loudmouth, shouting their opinions, shouting at us for not singing, shouting at us for not standing.
You get worse.
And then on a Wednesday, but on a Wednesday night, 8 o'clock game, they come in their suits from work and they're quiet as out, and it's just like. So if you then add the fact that you can take drinking, I just think it could. And again, I sound like a proper boring twat.
I think we are like the boring old farts club, like.
And I just think at Newcastle it would make it a lot worse, and I think it would be.
I think nationwide,
and I would just need the toilet all the time, so I'd have to keep
like,
going.
At the sniff of a goal, they'd be hiring their beers.
Yeah. Oh no,
and you get covered.
Yeah.
Like we are proper old. Like
very old.
How else do you want to spend your Friday night moaning about football? We don't want to stand up.
We don't want to stand.
We don't want to stand. We don't want beer.
Yeah, we just want to sit quietly with water and just watch the game.
All we want is piss weak beer in the back of the stand at half time, where there's 4 servers for about 7,000 people, with a pie that's cold in the middle and boiling hot on the outside.
I don't drink at the game at all. I don't even go at half time.
Do you not?
No, don't ever drink. I drink before and I get drunk, very drunk after. But during that 90 minutes that I'm in St. James's, it don't buy anything.
We used to have I got busted for this a couple of years ago, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who used to do it. So half time comes, go up, you get your beer or cider, Cedra. Get your cider, right? Have a drink, maybe have another one, and then as the end of the breaks coming, go back.
With them queues, how you got time to get?
This was up in level 7 back in the day. It was quite quick actually. And then you get a coffee cup with a lid on, put your cider in, lid on, and then you walk past.
Clever.
Blowing on it.
Yeah. That
worked for about 5 seasons.
Wow.
And then when I came down,
stopped it?
I don't, probably my Ashley swallows off underneath. But then I came down to the Gallowgate end, tried it, and the guy was like, "Oh no, I can't give you a coffee cup." I was like, "Oh, why?" He went, "Some people are sneaking alcohol into the thing. I was like, I'm
what?
joking.
Hold on. You actually asked for an empty coffee
Yeah.
cup and they used to give you it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
I thought you meant you just found one.
No.
Well, I thought you were desperate for a pint.
No, but like, because I can't think what I used to say.
But
now.
they must have
I
known
would
what
say,
you were
no,
going to do.
because they're so busy.
Right.
Because they're so busy, like, serving. If you just say, yeah, mate, can I have a coffee cup with a lid on, please? All right, and they'll just give you it.
Without thinking.
Sometimes I'd have to, like, say, oh, I don't like the plastic. Or I'm going to, whatever. But, like, it worked for ages. And every time we go past the steward, like, blown out like a naughty kid. And then we'd get back to our seat. We'd be like, every time. So there you go. Anyway, yeah. What was I talking about there?
Can't remember.
I can't remember now.
Oh, alcohol in stadiums.
Alcohol. So I don't know in the comments, what does Emily think about the potential? I know it's done in rugby a lot, but I feel like with rugby, it's more of there's less sort of spontaneous action that makes you jump up. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously there's tries and that, but it's not. It's dependent on a human
and I don't
running
think
somewhere.
rugby fans are like that. They would throw the drink.
Oh, I wouldn't waste it.
No.
Whereas with football, somebody could hit an absolute thunder bastard from 30 yards and you're up, and that would be it. You'd be
absolute,
out.
like pint over your head, and it hits the ball, and then it's like, well, that was waste.
I think that I've bother from people getting pissed off at each other rather than being pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like imagine the grannies who sit behind you.
Oh.
Like and like,
Way!
And then like Margaret's just.
I always remember the lad behind me got curry and chips, and you know how close he is. Like what are
curry and chips?
Curry and chips. I'm sure it was.
Is that like a meal deal at the match?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but he had curry and chips, and I just remember thinking, "Please don't score! Please don't score!" Because I just envisioned curry and chips being like swirled over us.
Be like. Give it to Joe Linton. Give it to Joe Linton. Give it to Joe Linton. No chance.
It was a while back, actually.
Yeah, man. So obviously in the news as well, the sad news about Joe Kinnear. Obviously a controversial figure at Newcastle, and I'm sure we all had a scratch the head moment at certain things that Joe Kinnear did, but obviously a terrible disease that his family and him are living with. So, hopefully.
It puts a lot of it into context now. Like, yes, it was a joke and everyone used to laugh and say, but now it's like, well, that makes a lot of sense. And I was listening to Shay Given on Open Goal. Right. He spoke about Joe Kinnear, and he was apparently he swore a lot. And
really,
the counted once 52 swear words in a halftime team talk.
That is kind of. I mean, to be fair. My granny had Alzheimer's. We've gone off on a total tangent there.
Yeah, massively.
And she was like the most prim and proper woman you've ever met. And then you'd go in to see her. And she'd be like, oh, you bastards! And you'd be like, Nana, what are you doing? It's absolutely hilarious, But you had to take those good things out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's, it's full of so many sad times. So, obviously the prognosis isn't good for him, but hopefully he's getting as much support as he possibly can. Chris of Gallowgateshots.
Is he telling him off?
He says he wouldn't throw their drinks, just get naked and touch. Oh my God, touch each other's genitals. I mean, Chris. I think that's holy.
This isn't what this podcast is about. Come on.
This isn't what ExtraTyne is all about. You keep your smut for your Gallowgateshots. All the smiling faces carry on.
Monday,
you know what I mean?
Keep that for a Monday.
Yeah, me. Let's go back to a few of the comments just about safe standing. We've got Shane Saunders, who's a member. Thank you. About safe standing being a good idea. Looks great on TV. But will absolutely cause ructions when people get in someone's way.
But why? Sorry, I'm not shouting at you, Shane. But why? Who cares if it looks good on TV? Like.
Because there's still that distance between you, because you've got the barriers. Because on the old terraces there was like a barrier every 10 yards or whatever.
Because I didn't even know they were considering it. Where would it have been?
In the ground.
Yeah.
I think like Celtic have it in the corner.
So would it have affected me in the Gallowgate?
Like not everything in the world
affects me.
Or is about how it affects you.
Have you not realised that it does by now? I'm a
I've just
very
realised that.
self-centered person.
I've just realised that now. How long have I known you?
Really, I just think.
So first, how does it affect?
Well, everything that
me?
I've spoke about tonight, it hasn't been about the actual. Like, I don't give opinions on things. I give them on how they would affect me. Safe standing. No, I don't want it. The boy next to us stands up. I don't like it.
Climate change.
Alcohol.
Climate change.
Well, is it getting hotter or colder?
It's changeable.
Because I don't mind cold.
Right. Okay. So
the alcohol, it affects me because other people would piss us off. So yeah, everything.
road
revolves.
protesters.
Can't bear them because I
Can't bear
hate
them.
traffic. So
You hate traffic.
yeah.
Right. Managers who wear suits.
Don't like it. Stuck
like
up their own arse.
Oh,
Just
fair enough.
put a
fair enough.
tracksuit on.
Let's go back to the comments then. So Marty, very old school there. He stood for 30 years from 64 to 94. Maybe it's an age thing, but I like to sit down now. Yeah.
We're with you, Marty.
Yeah. We feel you, Marty. I think we're getting
I like
to
the
that.
standing up as like they get closer to the goal. Doesn't bother us.
Imagine if it comes in and Mal's got to stand up for an entire game.
Honestly, it takes him all the time to stand up. Remember when he got his knees done? You know, they
Yeah,
killed him.
man. Oh my god. Yeah. We've got. I mean, other clubs think about Mal's knees. Do you know what I mean? How it affects him.
But it's all about the Elliot.
Yeah. Oh man. So in Ireland, Shane again and I've got a few grounds that have got standing room only. It's not exactly safe, crap, it's uncomfortable. Way to spend 90 minutes from my own experience.
See, I thought everybody would have called it boring, but everyone seems to agree.
Chris, as we all know, loves a good drink on a match day.
Oh, I knew he would be in favour of that.
But couldn't be no, he couldn't be off with people going back and forward to the bar.
What time was kick-off on Friday?
Oh, Jesus.
8.
Yeah.
8. At 5 to 8, he was topless in the old George.
Yeah. He was battered.
But absolutely.
Yeah. But he was making friends. Hands across the ocean, aye. Yeah. Increasing the followership. If that's what you want to call it. I don't know. Is it a followership? Fuck knows. Maybe he's like Richard thingy. What's he, the cult leader or something? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, let's not get into cults. Right. That's a whole other thing. So I think on alcohol, I'm a no. Because of the cans and because the plastic glasses go and fly when there's
I'm not a fan of drinking a pint out of a plastic glass either.
Yeah,
so I'd rather just wait until
straw is fine. Plastic glass.
I forgot my straw tonight.
Oh man. What will our watchers enjoy out of it tonight? If you haven't got your plastic straw out.
It's metal.
Yeah, so a couple other things just to cover. I'll come on to the funniest one last, hopefully. Well, I think it's funny anyway. So there's obviously been a couple of changes for the TV. So 2 away games in November. You've got the Brighton game and the Arsenal game. Brighton game's been changed to a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. I'm
starting to laugh because
it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect you, so you're not bothered.
No, because earlier I seen Roger Sens is what we're going to talk about, and I seen them, and I was like, well, they don't matter because I don't go. And then I didn't realize the whole podcast was going to be about things not affecting me. So I just started laughing.
Maybe it's an education that we're having here. Like we're trying to open your eyes to the fact that there's more people out there. No. How does this work in school though?
Well,
are you do you give to other people when you're at school? No. And then as soon as you leave
funny enough, my mum always shouts at us because when I'm telling her like I like to play a Friday song and we'll have a dance.
Yes.
But I have to choose it.
You don't let the kids choose it?
No.
You're a proper shan, you like.
And if the kids pick like a shit song, I'm like, oh no, YouTube won't play that one. Pick another one.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's not on YouTube. Licensing.
I can't find it. Sorry.
Shocking. Oh man.
I'm really not a selfish bitch, I swear.
I mean, the evidence is pointing to the opposite.
Come across awful tonight.
So yeah, so obviously those games, they don't affect Laura, but
So
they do affect a lot
let's
of
move on.
Match Good fans. You
No,
know,
honestly.
but I just think it shows that, you know, obviously there was all this thing around the Super League
Mhm.
and how football's nothing without the fans, and the COVID shut down the grounds, and football's nothing without the fans. But then at the first opportunity, they fuck the fans over.
All joking aside, I am
Yeah.
kidding. I think I don't go, but it's absolutely shocking. But is it true that there's no trains back on the one of
Well,
them?
I think probably there probably will be now that there's been a change to the game, but like it still is an inconvenience for people, but the Premier League don't care about that. They don't care about the inconvenience. You know, they're too worried about making sure that the top 6 are, well, at least the top 4 are in position.
Football as well, like, just to go on another whinge, it's not about the people that go, it's about the people that watch it on the telly.
Yeah.
So, and that's all they care about.
Yeah. It's all about the subscriptions and who's watching in far-flung Taiwan or wherever, you know, Micronesia. And I think probably the last thing, which has made a bit of a rumble on social media in particular.
Oh, right. I forgot what you were going to say. I just remember.
Is the excellent video from FIFA 22 of Steve Bruce suddenly becoming akin to peak Linford Christie, Usain Bolt, Carl Lewis, somebody else who's really, really fast. I can't think of, Mark Overmars, and absolutely outpacing the whole of our bench.
Play him up front tomorrow.
Because Almiron scored a penalty, which is, I mean, I think I put on, like, I don't believe in all these fantasy games, you know, like World of Warcraft, and you've got Steve Bruce outstripping most of our back line and some of the forwards to get on the pitch.
Who makes them? Do you think they were completely taking the mick out of him?
I don't know, because he was actually, he looked like quite trim and quite.
So yeah, they're taking the mick because he doesn't look like that.
Because they put well, did you see the one of Carlo Ancelotti?
No.
So there was a bit like a screen grab of like Carlo Ancelotti, and I think they might have swapped him and Bruce over because he looks like a mafia don, like a big mafia don, like, and they were really unkind. So they're really unkind to him.
Very kind.
Maybe Bruce. He's got pals in the media. That's what it is. Yes. EA Sports or whoever makes FIFA. He must have pals there
Mike
as well.
Ashley's got friends at Sky. Bruce has got friends everywhere.
Just everywhere on there, absolutely everywhere. But there was some really good memes. I think there was a couple from like there was one where he's finishing first in the Olympics, and then there's
I seen one earlier and I can't remember. It was something like
ones.
Oh, it was when ReHired asks a question, and it was when I asked earlier in the chat about a press conference. It's because when I open Twitter on a Friday, it's normally top, like a Bruce reaction is normally top of my timeline. There was nothing, so I thought there mustn't have been one. But when I've watched it back, there was one.
Or is it?
But it was just, no, there wasn't a reaction, sorry. There was a press conference. I didn't think there'd been a press conference.
Oh, it's always a one,
so when I looked, obviously there was one, but it was just so standard. Could have been from weeks ago. Could have been, it was just same old, same old. They've got good players. We need to go and try and win. I've seen bits of good, bits of positivity. Like same old shit. But they mustn't have asked a question. Did no one ask a dodgy question?
I think you might have got because last week was a inverted commas good game. I think he probably got away with it, and probably because the focus,
because he hasn't been on holiday this week or anything,
and because the focus would have been on the Willock injury, the Sells injury. So there was like,
but then that's the perfect time to have a dig and say, but shouldn't you have foreseen this and got back up or whatever?
Yeah, but I think are they just tired of asking those questions, so they're not getting the answers?
But then I think ReHired loves it because he gets a whole Twitter like storm of like people saying his name. So I thought every week I thought he would be like, right, what can I ask this week?
He needs a hot take every time, doesn't he? He needs a little dig. Maybe he's going to wait until after the Watford game.
Oh yes.
Because we do, you know, I know people don't believe in must-win games, and obviously we're not at the time of season where it's a must-win game, but
I say
we've got to win at some point, hopefully.
I kind of disagree. I think it is like, because the more it goes, the more he's not going to get sacked. regardless.
Yeah.
So I think the more it goes on, the more toxic it's going to become, the more unenjoyable it's going to be. And I am all for it's a must-win game. Maybe not necessarily this one because it's away from home and things, and like the records show and the stats show, it doesn't look like we're going to win. But soon, next home game. What's the next home game?
Tottenham. Yeah, we've got Spurs on October.
It's a Sunday, isn't it?
I think. But like, I think out of these two games, really, you need 4
so
points.
So is it
got Wolves
after
that, then Spurs after that. I'm not sure who the next game after that is.
Is Wolves 3 o'clock on a Saturday again?
I don't know.
No. I don't think it's on the telly.
But I think after these two winnable games, as if any game is a winnable game for Newcastle, but after that, I think we have got a few tricky fixtures where, you get into November time, or middle of October, November, because you've got an international break coming up again. You could really be on a slippery slope.
But wasn't it? I was thinking about this, and wasn't it a year? Was it December, that Sheffield United game when they hadn't won? Was it?
I feel like it was around then. Yeah.
Because God, that's come around quick. Where we're in the exact same position where it's like, bloody hell.
We're talking about must-win games.
Yeah, and like
on Friday the 24th of September.
And, like the Bruce getting sacked. Like I know we spoke about it. Like I'm sure Decker was like adamant. He put £50 on it. I'm sure after we got beat.
Do you entertain the question of who's going to be the next manager? Do you even entertain that now?
Well, I don't personally, but I had at the Leeds game, had quite a few interesting debates, if you like, heated conversations, but not aggressive. Like I don't mind it. And me, dad, and his friends were all they keep mentioning Graham Potter, and I don't know too much about him, but I just know there's been a lot of stuff on Twitter about him as well. About who was it that said he didn't compare? Oh, Luke Edwards. Had said.
I think in Luke Edwards' defense, which is probably not a sentence that leaves many people's mouths, but like I think he was right in a sense that at the time, if you purely take it on statistics, and
which I don't,
as in where you finished on the table, how many games you won and lost, then
which I don't think
not
Newcastle
the much
fans
of a muchness.
do.
However, if you look at Potter's career previous to going to Brighton. We don't know, obviously, what's going on in the background of Brighton. Obviously, they've opened an amazing training ground. Obviously, that might not be completely Graham Potter's, influence. However, he's a forward-thinking coach.
Yeah, and I don't think Newcastle fans look at the stats because we are the ones watching the games every week. Who gives a shit about the stats at the end of the day? We want to watch, like, I'm sick of saying it, good, entertaining football. And I think Potter over Bruce every time. But then you've got... I was having a chat with a stranger, and he was
a stranger. Where was this chat with a stranger?
Well, actually, he's not a stranger. I know him. He drinks in the bar, but he wasn't one of the friendship group, if you like. And he was totally against Graham Potter, and he was very much the be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Why? Who else would you get? You're gonna get one of the dinosaurs, and we didn't argue. It was very polite and just debating and back and forth and different opinions, but it was fine. So I think a lot of people are quite is it more Bruce get out? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't really entertain the discussion about takeovers, and I don't really entertain the discussion about who's going to be the next manager because it's just not going to happen.
No,
until it's almost too late or too late, until the daisies start coming up. That's when we'll maybe change manager. But I don't think springtime. You mustn't plant a lot of seeds then, and so you don't know when spring's coming. You need to know when spring's coming.
When
the spring term
when we PPA.
When's your PPA?
When we PPA comes up, I give science to the PPA teacher.
Is that what you do? Yeah. I used to do RE.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Yeah, RE or art.
I've given science and PSHE.
Have you? Are you using a PSHE scheme or
We
anything
are.
else? You on Jigsaw? Jigsaw?
No, I'm not. I don't know what scheme. Hence, I've given it to somebody else.
Aye.
Yeah. So.
You know, I know a really good relaxed kids coach.
Do
Who come
you?
into school and do
Oh,
wellbeing
wow.
sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, definitely gone off on a bit of a tangent. I think Shane's on the same path with us. I think Mark Hughes will be the manager in FIFA 23,
Yes.
running out our bench. And let's play a game and get Laura to make at least 4 players that are on the desk in front of her without looking.
To what? Name them.
Name at least 4 players that are on the desk in front of her without looking.
Keegan, Aspria. I can't see.
Oh, let's get rid of the comment.
Turn it round. Like, turn your iPad a little bit so I can see. Right, you've got Keegan. Is that given? No, it's Dubravka. Sorry. I can't see. Maximum.
Your players are too current. There's Warren Barton, I think, in an England strip.
They're too small. I can't see.
Yeah.
Look, I'm hitting the mic. Oh, Chris, piss off.
So I don't think back to this. I don't think there's going to be any. There's no point in having a discussion
there's
about a
going to be
manager
no change whatsoever.
because, like Shane was saying, you're going to just, and like you were saying before, you're just going to end up with one of probably not Roy Hodgson. I think he's probably out of it now because he's probably deep into his retirement now.
Carp
looking
fishing
at
with
cryptocurrency. Yeah, carp fishing with Lebo, yeah. That is a Channel 5 program we ain't happening, isn't it?
Oh no, Marin.
Youth hostling with
What's his name?
what was the one that Chris Eubank did? There was one that Chris Eubank did. Was that
Gogglebox?
No, he did like youth hostling with Chris Eubank or
Did
something
he?
random. Might be.
No, you can't do a fishing program because Mortimer's.
Yeah,
boyo for that.
Absolutely amazing. That is a boyo program. That is a boyo.
Oh, we are so old. We watch fishing.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's really good. Right, so I think we've kind of covered all the things that we're going to talk about, plus some extra bollocks, which is always it's always good. At least we haven't talked about cat food, but now I've mentioned it.
Oh, I didn't get that.
If you were going to eat cat food,
Right, okay.
right? This is the
I
theme
heard
now. I think
yours, yeah.
everybody's had the question.
Mhm.
I was a bit blindsided by it.
Yeah.
You should be prepared because you know
Yeah, I did
you've
hear
heard that
it,
it's the
Mhm.
on topic, on trend question
Mhm.
because it's better than talking about takeovers or
Mhm.
who's going to be the new manager.
Mhm.
Would you have it with jelly? Now, to my surprise, it wasn't sweet jelly like strawberry flavour
Like
jelly.
Hartley's.
It's like not Hartley's jelly, like actual
I had some of that
packed
today, actually.
jelly. Or would you have it with gravy?
Gravy.
Would you warm it up?
I'm not a massive fan of hot food.
You know,
Jesus, how stupid that sounded. As
what
I
a
said
date
it
you
out
are.
loud.
Sit down,
No.
cold food, talk about me. Have you been watching Married at First Sight as well? Yes, you are Morag.
No,
You are
that's
Morag.
such an-
You are absolutely Morag. You are Morag.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not.
If you are a watcher of Married at First Sight, I'm sure Chris Chris might be. So you can
No, I
chat about
don't
stuff in
think
the
he
staff room.
is.
No, when he's at work. Shane might be. I'm not really sure that Marty's probably not watched Married at First Sight. I don't think so. He probably doesn't believe in that type of thing. But yeah, you are Morag, like.
Oh, that's such an insult.
Yeah. Cause yeah.
Not like in hot foods, like not a high maintenance thing. It's just it's too hot for my mouth.
But you can let it cool down. No.
I don't mind, like
When you say hot, you mean spicy or like hot?
both.
Like warmed up food.
Like, yeah.
Why don't you like warm food?
It's not that I don't like it. I eat it, but if I was to choose a cold sandwich or a hot sandwich, I would always choose.
Why
cold.
are you just eating sandwiches though?
I just eat a lot of sandwiches.
And on that
I
bombshell,
can't cook.
on
So
that
I
absolute
just eat.
bombshell, you know what we need to get? We need to get you into Gusto.
Oh, there's too many ingredients.
No, you need to get
No,
into
no.
it.
No, I don't
No,
get
but
in.
you can choose. You can choose. I think you
Honestly,
can
I
choose.
don't
ones
get
with
in till dead late, and I can't be chewed with all the cutting and
slicing and
slicing
stuff.
and all that. So I just literally
Smoked paprika.
yeah, fish and veg every night,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday.
Cold fish.
No, actually,
You actually
warmed
have
up
warm fish, warmed
yeah.
up fish.
Mhm, yeah.
Right. Okay. Right, so more of Laura's dietary needs next time. I think that's probably a really good point to wrap things up. I don't think we made predictions about the Watford game. I think we'll win 2-1 because I always say 2-1, and you went.
I said either a draw or get beat, so I'm gonna go 0-0.
Now it's a piece. Take that. Stay tuned to the Gallowgateshots website. Sorry, the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Stay alert on that one, as ever. For more amazing content from people like myself and Laura, but also from the lads of Always Smiling Faces. They'll have, I'm sure, a match reaction to an excellent win by Newcastle United against Watford. Obviously, you've got our American friends over there in San Diego, and you've got the United. Now, I got into my mind the state of United. That was my suggestion, but it's the United State, isn't it?
State, isn't it? Have you watched it yet?
Yes.
How funny is when you got introduced to trebles for the first time.
Everybody's got to break the duck at some point, you know what I mean? And trebles is a wonderful way to do it. So thanks very much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share. What else can people do? Tell your neighbour.
Watch.
Come and see Laura about something she cares about, and she'll chat to you all night. Don't bring your own problems.
Just bring sandwiches.
You know what we should do? By the way, we're definitely doing a goal. We need to watch Goal.
Oh yeah, I've never seen Goal.
So you need to watch Goal. Right? Like between now and next week, you need to watch Goal.
Time. Oh, actually, I'm not going out this weekend.
You're not going out this weekend? Watch Goal.
Okay. Right.
I'm not asking you to watch Goal 2 and 3.
No.
Because they're like terrible.
Okay.
But watch Goal.
Okay.
Are you a crier? Do you cry? No.
No.
You make a little teary, you know what I mean?
Doubt it.
Yeah, man. It's an emotional
Does
movie.
he die in the end?
No, because there's 2 sequels. So, yeah. If the goal was dying, then yes, but no, he doesn't die.
Well, I thought it might have been a story of somebody else, and
like he passes the
he passes the book.
No, he doesn't pass the book.
What do you call it?
Pass the torch. Yeah, he passes the book or the torch or whatever, you know, the cold sandwich. I don't know what he passes, but yeah. So yeah, well, Marty's never heard of it, so I don't think that's Goal. I think that was Married at First Sight.
Oh.
Really quickly, we'll just quickly go. Shane, cat food gravy, side of peas pudding, possibly a bottle of.
Is there a D on the end of peas pudding?
No, peas pudding. No.
Sorry, Shane.
I think maybe he's got fat fingers. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Thank you, Marty. Thanks to everybody for joining. Thank you to Shane. Thank you to Chris for joining in. Thank you to Marty, Chris, Shane, Daryl is always hanging about there watching as well. Thank you to Rich as well and James for contributing.
Yeah, where's Tom Lynch?
I know. And where's
Geordie
Sandancer? Where's the Geordie Sandancer? Hopefully you'll watch later.
Hopefully.
But please, like I said before, like, subscribe, you become a member. It really helps out the channel. Helps us improve the content. You might get some better people than us on. You never know. I wouldn't push it.
When Chris sent with the thing earlier of we're hiring, I thought we were getting
yeah. Maybe he was trying to drop a hint. He was really pushing it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What slogan can we use
to
get rid of you two?
Look at our thumbnail with we're hiring all over it.
Oh, so yeah, if you fancy doing this, coming in and doing a better job than us, then have at it. But thanks very much. Thanks for coming in. And everybody, thank you for watching. And leave your comments. Thank you very much. And we will see you next Friday. Oh no, you're out next Friday, aren't you?
Friday.
We'll see you at some point next week. Possibly Thursday. Who knows? But like, subscribe, keep join the conversation, and we will see you another time. Take care, everybody, and laters. We'll just wave like this until eventually it goes off. Bye-bye.